What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Dope and Tape Show. Today we have a very special episode. Vikings on. We have Martin Workman. He's the senior vice president, and then we have Jeremy Morton, and he is the president of the company. Now, Martin was on here previously. He was on episode 116, and this one's 186. So it's been a little while. Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with us, and
Glad
thank
to
you
be
for
here.
coming back,
Thanks,
Martin.
man.
And he is the. And then Bobby, what you got going on behind you, man? This is wild.
Yo, what
This
up?
isn't what we're normally.
It's Bobby. I am not home. But welcome to the Dope and Tape Show. Please hit the like button on your way in.
Yeah, so excited show. I want to get into kind of like what Viking does, what are some of the changes, what are some of the technologies that you are looking into as our world and our fire protection needs adapt. We need to adapt with it. And Jeremy, I was hoping that you could tell us a little bit about your story so we can catch up
Yeah,
with
sure.
you. Pretty up to speed with Martin. So
Yeah, no, listen, everybody's up to speed with Martin. I'm surprised you guys invited him back, so I'll withhold didn't know that would be. Yeah, so yeah, listen, short version, I came from the security side of our broader industry where I spent the first, roughly 20 years of my career. I joined Minimax Viking about 6 years ago and really been here in Viking largely in operational roles until more recently when I took the CO gig, and yeah, just glad to be here. But early career roles were in engineering, so I'm an engineer by background, not a great one. So my kind of mid-career roles were always around product technology and how that met the market. So found myself in front of customers most of my career, which is where I enjoy spending most of my time. But yeah, over the last 10 plus years, I came from Stanley Black & Decker before I joined here at Viking, and yeah, love it. Yeah. Love this industry, learn more every day, and your podcast helps us all learn a bit more too. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Is there anything when you took over that CEO position that you were like, okay, we got to do this right now, do this change?
Yeah, well, I think it was either the day of, or it was basically the day that Liberation Day, the tariff announcement. So
wonderful.
Everyone spends all day trying to figure out where in their supply chain is impacted. So because I think there were 100 different tariffs that were announced. I feel like
yeah, that was a moment. Yeah, I had to do with that too.
The short answer to your question is that's where I spent most of my time right out of the gate. But no, it's listen, I've been here for the last 6 years, so I didn't need an introduction to the industry or the company.
That's true.
And really, it's just continuing on the great work from the leaders that came before me and still support me, whether that was Kevin Roytel for a long time, and obviously James Goldenville, a good friend of mine who's still a mentor of mine. So really just building upon the great work that the team has done here, and it's been an exciting run. There's a lot of growth and expansion that's happened in Viking over the last 6 years, and new faces and new locations and all that good stuff. So it's been really exciting, and it's a really exciting time to be in this space. There's just a lot going on. Clearly, maybe it was more of an insular space where there were like a lot of new entrants and a lot of new faces, but private equities come into the space, both on the
big time
side. They've clearly come in on the contracting side, and so just watching that develop, participating in our part of that, and it's kind of the ground shifting as we speak. So it's been a really dynamic time in our space for sure.
Oh,
Opportunity.
I agree. But I mean, y'all been doing great. I mean, over the past 5 years, you've really expanded into more markets and more brick and mortars. Can you tell me kind of what y'all been doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, my original evaluation, for lack of better terms, when I joined the company was we have a wonderful story. We just candidly didn't have enough storytellers. And so what does that mean? That means so we just need to get our product and our message and our story into more markets, closer to our customers. And so what we've done is really an unsurprising move, which is we've expanded our supply net and fabrication capabilities and footprint around the country. If you go back over the last 5 years, 7 or 8 new locations, more, I guess. And then really a lot of expansion within existing locations where we had one line, we needed 2, or where we had 2, we needed 3, where we had 2 shifts, we needed 3 shifts. And so, over the last 6-7 years, doubled the fabrication capacity of the company. And I've added new rooftops more recently, Boise, Idaho. We just added fabrication in Kent, Washington. Just set up a new fab shop in Portland, Oregon, and a few more in the hopper for 2026. So, and actually,
Man,
ironically, of all places,
awesome.
we didn't have a a supply net location was right here in Grand Rapids. Yeah. So, so about 100 yards to our right, we have a new location where actually the racking was going up today. So
that's exciting for me.
Yeah. So Martin, speaking of racking, I heard that y'all might be doing some new technology within in-rack sprinklers. Is that right?
The challenge going forward, and you guys probably know it as well as anybody, is the codes are behind. FM is probably as far ahead as they can be, but it's really the people that are building these buildings. And in the past, I think that, we used to say you have to build your building this way. Well, anybody in operations realizes it's not square footage, it's cubic foot. And we're going to be at the point sometime in the future, and it's not that far away, where there are no aisles in warehouses. And it's the automatic retrieval storage systems where they're absolutely ideal if you're trying to make the most out of your space, because you get to use every cubic space, and you can very technically drive things in. It's more of a robotic action than it is with guys driving around on tow motors or high loads. The biggest challenge that we have with that is the storage that they use. In the past, most of the testing we did were on pallets, and it was in cardboard, and maybe we'd wrap plastic around it.
Right.
Big whoop. We built big sprinklers, and we flowed a lot of water from the ceiling, and we did it. Problem that we have today is that these they're so compact that it's no longer suppression. They're looking for extinguishment because people can't go in with hoses. They literally have to tear these things apart. So we're approaching kind of a new outlook on what we have to provide. So we have to be more space conscious. We have to be more efficient with the water. We've looked at, Jeremy's been part of a few of these where we've done fire tests where we've literally dropped 1,000 gallons of water, like on the hood of your car, hoping we got the engine wet, and we didn't get the engine wet. Because we're talking about plastic totes. And when you're a multi-billion-dollar corporation, you're going to store any way you want.
Yeah.
It's our turn to figure it out. And really, I think part of the problem that we've had, and Jeremy, who's, been part of this, now he's a little more into the new product development than he was before. He just used to hear me whine and cry all the time. We were taking sprinklers out of the ceiling and put them in a rack, and it worked out pretty good. Great history of that. Well, we can't do that anymore because we don't have flue spaces. We don't have clear spaces to flow water. And the whole idea is that the water got down to the base. Anytime you've looked at an ESFR storage fire, it looked like somebody was putting their foot all the way down to the bottom. And that's what we were doing with big water droplets and all those things. So going forward, we have to be a lot smarter about where we're putting water, where we're putting the sprinklers. Pipe size is going to be a definite holdback for us, because now if we need more water, what do? Get bigger pipe. Well, if your storage structure is made out of 1.5-inch angle iron, you don't have a space anymore. So we have to, and that's some of the things that we're doing. We're looking at making sprinklers compact, purpose-built, not just taking the thing that we have in our flow lab and throwing it in a rack. So there's a lot of research that we're doing, and a lot of concerned people that we know if we build these type of buildings, they're either a total loss, which will happen very quickly, or they're a total success. And there's a lot of concern here. We know where our future is, and that future we need to, as an industry, kind of leapfrog where they're at. We can no longer say, well, that's what they did, now I have to put sprinklers in. We have to design purpose-built products and design approaches. So sorry, that was a long answer for a
No,
second.
that was a
good.
great answer.
That was
Welcome to my
awesome.
world, guys. I mean, that's
Welcome everybody. Please hit the like button on your way in. If you haven't yet, please
Please subscribe
We
too.
got Viking.
Uh,
Ask questions if you got them. I see 10 of yous on here.
Oh, 10's a lot. That's great.
10 live
Oh,
viewers.
that's awesome. Yeah. Now, something that Martin, back to you. Sorry. You know, a big discussion lately, and it's very interesting to me because I don't know how this is going to be solved. But the lithium, the thermal runaway, like you can't put it out. They dunk Teslas underwater in the ocean, and it still burns. You know, so
So
what do we do then?
there's a couple of approaches with that. So when you look at batteries in general, a lot of times what we're thinking about is the cars that we drive. And those are just little batteries. They're all stacked up. And they make a big cake of them, and they're usually the bottom of your car. And that's what they are. And you want a faster, stronger car, you just get more batteries. And they stack them up.
Yeah.
There's some problems with cars because they have something. So if you do have a fire, you can have abandoned energy, so they can restart. And that's where you see people drop them in dumpsters full of water. It's probably the safest thing to do, or put a fire blanket over it. One of the bigger issues that we have is when you're talking about battery energy storage systems, which go by it's BESS, BESS. These are the very large mega batteries to where you're
Right.
making power, storing them in the batteries. They've actually found that the best thing to do is use detection to alert that you have a fire, but let it burn up, because the heat from the lithium ion battery will burn all the caustic stuff that comes off it. We've kind of did something that was bad, even though we thought it was good. We're putting water on it, we cool it down, then you get all that nasty smoke and all
Right.
the impurities in the air. When you look at the lithium ion batteries, and I'm lucky at Viking. They let me watch a lot of government videos and stuff like that. And you get to see Sandia Labs put nails through stuff. And there isn't a safe lithium ion battery. So regardless of what anybody's saying, there's not a safe one. To interrupt the chemical action is where that's the only way that you can stop that fire. There's really no way to do it. If you cool it down, if we were to use like liquid nitrogen, you could stall it,
Right.
but you never stop it. So when we look at battery storage or battery manufacturing, you're protecting the building. Knowing that the incident, and typically if you put them in like a metal box, you'll contain them. And if you look at any battery manufacturing, it's really funny if you've seen it. I think you have, Jeremy. They look like a stack of dryers where they put these things in there. So what they do is they just basically confine them. So it's a different outlet. I don't think it's as big a problem as people make out. It's just kind of become an oh wow moment.
headline catcher.
Yeah, pretty much. Everybody wants to know how to fix it. It's like, well,
Right.
a lot of things we don't know how to fix. That just naturally happens. People used to say if you use a noble gas, you could put it out. I'm like, really? So we'll use helium to put out lithium. That's like a great idea.
Buy a V8. No.
That's right. Yeah. Try it.
I always freak out when I see the charging stations and parking decks. Like I live in a high rise in Atlanta, and in our parking deck is charging stations on like the third floor.
Right. Yeah.
And
what?
like
This
and
has
then on the
does it
other
have just
side,
regular protection above it?
yeah,
It's
regular
just got like
protection, and
regular
on the other
protection.
side of the rock wall is dwellings.
Right.
So you have people right there.
So the Research Foundation is doing a lot of work on parking structures. One, to look at actually the hazard that they are. And then when you look at the battery portion of it, the charging area is an issue. Some things like battery blankets, I don't know if you've ever seen them. They're relatively effective. So there is a manual operation that goes with that. Typically, the idea is where you're putting the water. Remember, I gave you that analogy. We're putting 1,000 gallons on the hood, and we're not getting
right.
most of the batteries are underneath. So some of the ideas that people have had is how do you cool the underside of it? but at some point it still turns into a car fire. That's what people don't really kind of understand. Once those batteries burn up, you're just burning up the car.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
I did see some of that contraptions at convention where the hose hooks to wheels that an apparatus that goes under and it sprays upward. Okay.
Yeah. And it's actually a takeoff on the old basement nozzle. I don't know if you guys are fire nerds. But there's a basement nozzle that they used to just put on the end of a hose and shove in a basement if they had a basement fire, and it would spread water all around. Wasn't very efficient, but at least that way I wouldn't have to go in.
That's true.
I
Yeah.
couldn't get through the window or out the window.
I love it.
It's definitely something. Does anybody have any questions? I mean, we have the two men here that make the things happen, and
Daryl's
tons of knowledge, so.
asking about a push-on coupling. I think you guys got like, what do you guys got, the G-Fire or something?
As far as push-on coupling,
Yeah.
that's a related item for SupplyNet. So we already offer them, and it's a product line that we have.
Right.
Awesome.
Great question, Daryl. Florencio thinks that you're the tape measure guy. The former Stanley tape measure guy.
There you go.
No, I was actually Stanley doesn't own it anymore. When I was at Stanley Black & Decker, they had a large security business, and they divested of that business. But that's where I was at. He's business. So anytime you're like
right.
Lowe's or Home Depot,
Lowe's,
walking to Lowe's or Home Depot, Walmart. So basically the trend line in my career has always been building hardware in a sense, but I've always looked up too because we make door closers. So now I just look up a little bit higher.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right?
That's awesome.
So I was always looking at door closers, and now I just keep going north.
All the way to the top.
All the way to
That's
the
what
top.
we do.
We use Viking with all our Costco customers. Thank you for providing a model for them.
Great to hear.
Active Fire. Thanks for tuning in, Active Fire. You guys got a bunch of valves behind you. Is this a training center that we're at?
That's our flow lab. So
I love that term. That term's getting popular.
We'll take it a Hastings.
We can give them a quick spin.
Yeah.
Where is it? Where is it?
Let's go on a road trip.
But it's
Whoa. Dude, all the way around.
Whoa.
Oh, there's a Viking F1. That's my baby right there.
Where are we?
There she is.
Where is this?
This is Caledonia, Michigan, just south, just near Grand Rapids. So if you get an opportunity, Hastings is where we do a majority of our manufacturing. That's where the company was founded. And we had a small training area. We had about 15 risers. And then James Golenbaugh, who had this idea that, to build this world-class training center, kind of let everybody go wild in here. And so we've got just about every system. We have more systems than we have room. So every now and again, we have to find out which Viking product we love the most.
Right.
There's not a real vote on it. It's more of a dictatorship. But
say, all right, buddy, time to go.
Whatever Martin says, that's actually how we're going to run it. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you were ever to have a chance to come up here, we loan the space out to anybody that wants to. So we have insurance companies come in and they do their own training because they'll, we're not, NFPA 25 guys. We build new product and we show you how to fix ours, but we're not gonna have you.
Right.
But they do. We have a whole lab where you can flow fire hydrants and do, flow tests, things like that. So they utilize that. There's a fire pump down there. And some of the folks will test that. They'll actually go through that. So it's there for everything. We use it for product training. We've got, as you see, we've got a real wide range of products. This is all wet. Then we've got foam. We've got inert gases.
Ooh.
And one of the biggest hits is our VR lab. And I know you guys have kind of played with that, but that's. Especially when you're trying to do remote training. This is great. This is a real luxury, but not everybody has it. So
that's true.
Yeah, and Viking,
especially contractors that are just starting out. It's hard to get there or send and then do without labor for a little while.
Exactly, it's kind of a hardship. So it was probably about 6-7 years ago. Viking kind of invested in this VR part of it. And I'd say that we kind of plodded along with it. And then the last few years it got real strong. And it kind of goes with like our V design and our other things. It's just something that's how wide Viking got really soon. I mean, you started in 2019 and that was like just at the start of it. So we're going to give Jeremy credit for all that.
Yeah, and I wish James gets the credit for this building. It was opened in 2019, but we've been in, the company's been in this area of Michigan for 100 years, over 100 years.
Wow.
That's
awesome.
California today, just outside of Grand Rapids, very near to the airport. Hastings, Michigan, probably 30-ish minutes, 35-ish, depends on who's driving. It's just southwest, and that's where a bulk of our production takes place. But all sprinkler production for the corporation takes place here in the state of Michigan across 2 primary facilities.
Right.
Yeah, I made a video on that VR. It's out of this world. It's great. I think that's a great way to attract the younger generation is what we need, what we always talk about, and so that's a great way to get hands on with was it MetaQuest or?
Yeah, so we're moving forward with Meta in the next year, just because their platform when we first started out was a little too wonky. So if you go to Steam, you can use that.
Oh yeah, it's Steam, that's right.
Yeah, if you're using Steam, and kind of looking at it, that's all internal. We didn't rent that out. That's all, there's
wow.
stairs doing that. So the nice part about that is if there's a mistake, which can happen, and you guys all know trim. So I'm the Viking guy. They built this whole thing that had a check valve in backwards. And it's no different than when you're fitting pipe.
And you're the one that found it with the goggles on?
Yeah, well, they first had to show me how to use everything. I go, hey, before we're done laughing. That's the nice part, that it's all, it's something that's kind of homegrown.
That is cool.
Pretty cool.
There's a video on that on the YouTube page.
We've got an amazing set of capabilities here, whether it's you guys or anybody that's watching this show live or recorded. If you're in the area or want to come in the area, we'd love to host. This is it's really a showcase for not just what we do, but what the industry can do, and so really world-class capabilities here. So it's great too, just from I can't help it but talk about, part of my job is to bring the best talent we can in the corporation, and this is our best salesperson. So we get folks here. Matter of fact, we have a couple new folks starting this week, and it's great to see, right, younger folks entering in our space, and
right.
Let's bring them through this facility, and it really helps you visualize not only what we can do technically, but what the corporation can do, what we can deliver for our partners and for our customers. And so, just a shameless invite to anybody that wants to see.
For
real.
Come on in the water.
I feel like I want to book a trip and go up there and record and check it out. And
I do too. Let's go.
Listen, man, winter's coming, so I would advise
be quick.
Earlier, or then you put it off till spring. But we're open year round.
Bobby doesn't care; he's from Massachusetts.
Yeah.
The same
I'm in Atlanta. I did a really good job last winter avoiding the entire winter with travel. So
you could wake up with 10 inches of snow on the truck, and the foreman would call you and be like, "Why are you late?" You're like, "Well, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. It's a blizzard, bud."
So
before we it's cool outside today, and I think so it feels like fall, and football's starting this weekend. I told Martin I should say, hey, the next week is fall here. Winter kicks in, so we better enjoy it.
For real.
No, that's nice. Yeah, I'm ready for football. So if you are a contractor and you want to get started with Viking, or you want to see what Viking offers and the pricing, how would they go about that, starting that exploration before they, let's say, switch over to you guys?
Yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of ways to get in touch with us. Hopefully, we don't need a big introduction. If you're in an area, you don't know who we are at all, let me figure out who's our salesperson in that area. But no, listen, I think getting a hold of us is easy. We have a million ways to reach out to us and for us to quickly respond. But in terms of getting familiar, we got 37 locations across North America. That's always growing. So we're hopefully not too far from, whoever would have that curiosity. We built a great digital capabilities to familiarize yourself with who we are and what we do, and how how we're different. I think we built the origins of our business are, are as fitters and contractors, right? Like a lot of our key employees and leadership, including Martin, came from that space. And so we wake up every day trying to think how we serve our customer. And we have a unique model, as many know, where you direct from the manufacturer through our own distribution channel, and including fabrication. And that's a model that's increasingly unique given the M&A environment and some changes, in the competitive landscape. Viking's really unique in this way. And so, when you're talking to Viking, whether you're talking to our fab shop or you're talking to a supply net location or Viking Plastics, you're talking directly to the manufacturer. So whether it's training, bringing your team in for us to train or to use our facility, our sales team, they tend to have a more of a technical bias, right? Because they represent the manufacturer directly as opposed to through, a multi-layered distribution approach.
Right.
So yeah, you're dealing with one company all the time, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's
probably another investment that we made. So we always had the Viking website, which is Viking product, and we kind of alluded to SupplyNet. SupplyNet has their own website now, and we do a lot in e-commerce. And a lot of that today is we're so used to buying from Amazon, and I would have never thought of buying sprinklers online. And we sell a lot of sprinklers online. We sell a lot of other products online. When I listened to the statistics, when it first started, what was it, 5 years ago? It was nothing. I mean, I think we were buying products.
It was all like test buys.
And it's a lot bigger now, partly because of, if you know what you want, you don't have to call somebody. Why send an email and wait for, did you get my email? Did you get my email? Or call a sales guy? So, that's something that we're continuing to try to improve. We all have a kind of a we have a user experience that we all know, and it is the Amazon. I mean, I was talking to a guy today that was trying to buy, one of those ball marker fixers. And he knew the company. He went right to their website and he was trying to buy one, and it kept kicking him to Amazon. Well, he called and he said, "Hey, I'm just trying to buy this." He goes, "Yeah, buy it from Amazon. Don't buy it from us." Which is, it's a great story. But e-commerce is big with a lot of companies, a lot larger than us. I mean, we're a sprinkler company. We're well sized, but when you look at the Costco's and the Walmarts and the Amazons, that's the buyer experience we're used to. And to bring that into sprinklers is, we're getting close, I would say, but there's still, we've got a whole IT department that's kind of geared towards that. That's what they're working on. So, because at some point, and you guys know it, who thought we'd walk around with these and directions and play our music and hold all our family secrets on it. So that's the exciting part about the industry, other than the product side, which I love, and he knows that. But the other part is that technical side that we never really had before. We were a bunch of knuckle draggers, remember? We needed a bigger wrench.
There was no videos online, even when I started. You couldn't find a sprinkler video. Now it's like, I mean, you guys all have YouTube videos on how to reset valves or you can find a lot. There's a lot of resources just on YouTube from a lot of different people and manufacturers, and that's only like in the past 10 years maybe.
And it's really, now shout out to Viking. This is not me trying to talk y'all up, but y'all are really the ones doing the most, y'all are doing the most on social media. There's no other manufacturing company doing what y'all do on social media. Now, it's not like every week kind of thing, but it is definitely more than the industry.
Yeah, listen, there's as I said, we've been doing this. The company's been doing this for 100 years, and if you look really in the core areas of the business, honestly, starting with guys like Martin and James Goldenbow, who have spent their entire career working in this trade, working in this space, and that kind of bleeds through into everything that we do. We make mistakes. We're not the best at everything, but when you're working with us, you're working with folks that wake up every day with equal passion for what we do, and as I said, there's not a lot of layers to our organization. So if you need to jump on a call directly with our manufacturing leader to or Martin directly or myself.
There's no crown princes at Viking.
Yeah, super accessible in that way. And I think that's, at the end of the day, you ask the question, like, if you're trying to get to know us or curious about what we do, we've been doing this for 100 years. We've been, we fab enough pipe every year to stretch from New York to London. We make tens of millions of sprinklers every year. And all the mistakes that go into that. So we've got,
so cool.
a lot of experience and a lot of passionate people. We've got a great tenure in the company too. So folks, one of the things we're passionate about, and I think, obviously you guys are building a community or helping to expand a community within our space, is, we've got a lot of great tenure in the organization. Folks that have, been in this space for 20, 25 years, 30 years, 35 years. We'll celebrate year anniversaries down on the manufacturing floor. And it's great to have a group of folks that are committed to this trade and this industry.
Yeah, it's a true testament. That's awesome.
Hey, let me ask you guys a question.
Yeah, please.
This is a new one for us.
Come on.
Okay, I got a question for you. So, now that you guys aren't on the fitters side, take it back maybe a year or so. When's the last time you taught somebody how to do a blowback?
Actually, not that long ago. Yeah, I'd say within the past couple of years, because my last position was the national operations manager for North American Fire Protection, and so we were teaching guys. That was like one of my main jobs, was to teach the new guys things, and that's a good one, because they, and I'm a prankster, so I was always screwing with them, making them take air samples with trash bags and all. I did all the pranks, the rod stretcher and the whole nine. So when you are teaching them about the blowback, they think it's a joke. They're like, no way.
Oh, it's great. It's hilarious. And me as an apprentice, when my first foreman told me to do that, I was like, there's no way I'm doing that.
No
There's
way.
no way.
Yeah. Like,
There's no way.
Seriously.
Yeah, after 3 days of working with him, you knew it was a joke. But that's one of the things that I take to heart, because when we look at these products around here, I literally have done so many blowbacks in this room, and we're talking like degreed engineers that look at you like, and then all of a sudden they can hear the air blowback, and I said, yeah, that's a blowback. That's the stuff that we're doing. Because you're talking to tradesmen, talk in their terms. Don't, try to make things understandable. If you have a problem, you better be able to explain what it is. And we just sent our R&D team to a big facility in storage, and okay, now don't embarrass me. These are friends of mine. But they took a lot of photos and were very mindful of what they were looking at, and actually talking to fitters. And the best part I loved is our VP of R&D came back. She said, they really hate putting the pipe in these. I go, why is that? She said, because everything's sharp. So these angle irons on these automatic retrieval storage systems. And I said, yeah. I said, think about that when we build a product. Yeah. When's the last time you changed your oil and you went, why did they put it here? I said, think the same. Yeah. So yeah, that's the reason I asked that is we wrote kind of a best practices for an insurance firm, and we talked about a blowback, and they said, it's that simple. I said, yeah, it's that simple, because one of the things that they pay a lot of money for are mishaps. Somebody left a head out, left a groove plug out or something like that. So,
right.
No, I appreciate you guys answering that, because it is kind of a basis of our industry.
People doubt it. It doesn't matter how big the system
do.
is either. It could be the biggest system you've ever. It could be a small system. It could be a stadium. It's gonna come back if it's closed off. And so I always do a blowback, and then I would always do air. And if I could see 50 pounds of air, I was happy. I wouldn't even let it sit. I'd put water right on.
Yeah. We've got a riser out in our warehouse in Hastings. It's 8-inch.
Uh-oh.
So anytime that they were.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, he's back.
Hold on, we lost you for a second.
Doing anything, I'd make sure I get some new pieces.
Oh, there you go. Hold on. Are you back?
I go back. Yeah, he's
we're back.
You had 8-inch?
Yeah, it's an 8-inch riser.
We lost you for a second.
Sorry about that.
There's a lot of metal in this room, guys.
Yeah, we're just talking about the 8-inch riser where they couldn't leave, they could blow into it and not be able to blow anymore.
Yeah, Yeah,
know?
and it hits you right back in your face. You say, yeah, all right,
Yeah.
you're good to go.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Turn the water on.
Now, something with y'all's designs and how you engineer your products is something that I've noticed when I'll go to your booth and I'll look at your sprinklers, and then I'll go to other booths and look at other people's sprinklers. The other manufacturers are always very uniform. It always looks exactly like a sprinkler head. But with y'all, there's some things that like stand up and then over here, and then it looks a little wonky in a way if you're just looking at it. But then um I was talking to whoever the person I was talking at the booth, and they told me that if it's better with that little lip, then they do the lip. They don't really care about the aesthetic of the head. It's all about performance. And y'all kind of stay true to that.
Yeah, it's an efficiency and purpose when you're designing. It's mostly a deflector design. Like, to be honest with you, a pendant and an upright sprinkler, a K56, it's done, right? It's when you're trying to do extended coverage, you're doing storage, you're doing window sprinklers. Um,
Right.
and it's more performance objective sprinklers that you
Yeah.
see that really kind of we've got a whole pile of them over here, and I just keep looking at, like, a stream shaper. That's that one that's got that ring on the end.
Yeah, yeah.
And that actually came from a very practical application. The guy on the patent, his name is Tom Weinbrenner. I live out in the country. He lives in Hastings, so it's pretty much the country. He just put his thumb on the end of a hose and realized that we were losing a lot of energy just through the frame of the sprinkler on a sidewall. Why don't we put a ring there? And that's where the stream shapers came from. We were 2 in before we actually had one that was just blew the industry away.
Yeah.
The first two were okay. The third one, which was a 486, 20 by 20 with a sidewall sprinkler at minimum density. You just drop the mic and and that's where our concealed sidewalls share a lot of that same technology, and that's one of our challenges going forward is getting past yourself.
Yeah.
You knew that just where you were at.
Yeah.
What's your next best thing? So.
But we're not afraid to try things here. We got, Martin talked earlier, some of the capabilities here in the building, but we try, not always great, but we try to promote failing fast, try new things, starting with listening to our end user customers, obviously our direct customers, and then our team, our sales guys. And so, there's a lot of trial and error in this building to try to solve different problems and unique, fire protection challenges. But it's a cultural thing to try to promote it. But it starts at the top. I mean, Minimax is a company that's been around for 100 years doing the same thing too. So
yeah, that new canning is legit. That new Mini Max cannon.
Yeah, the MX1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I still haven't been to a burn. I've been wanting to go to a burn so bad and see it in action. That's so impressive, so cool.
Yeah, we've got we're hosting some customers over and some U.S. customers, but over in Germany to take a closer look at some of the deployments we've had with that product over there. So
I want to see one painted in like an Iron Man red with
it's
the gold,
Beast, man.
A candy apple red, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some flames on it.
Exactly.
Put
Hey,
it on the
let's
top of Bobby's
we got a
muscle.
commercial, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah,
Let's
are we
run
ready?
that.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
add a quick word from our sponsors. All right, don't screw it up. Boom. Oh, I think I did it. Looked good on my end. How'd it look,
Yeah.
chat? Woo! That's pretty good. Little ESFR commercial I got.
So
Pretty cool.
so we just did a commercial on ESFRs, and it makes me think, like like if you were designing any of the designs or engineering that you've done in the past, what is something that stood out as being very difficult to engineer or to get it to where you can bring it to market?
The dry SFR was especially difficult. We started out with a K14. It was before we had the capabilities. And Jeremy's seen Hastings, but we started out with a brick building and we had very little R&D capabilities. So we were at FM with a stack of deflectors. It looked like a roll of quarters. And we just kept trying to get, and so that's a very expensive way to do it. After we got through that development, we actually bought an ADD machine, which is actual delivered density, and built a building that had a roof to where we could simulate testing.
Right.
So that was difficult because we had both the dry portion of that, maintaining a K factor, because with FM you can't have a degrading K factor. Not well, you will if you state it. There's some rules, but you can state if you start out with a K of 8, and the longer you get, your K factor can degrade as long as you put it on your data page. FM it's
Right.
fixed at the inlet. So that was probably thinking back, because this was back in 2004, 2005, and then probably our concealed sidewalls. Those took probably about 3 years until it was flat plate. We started out with a kind of a domey thing. It looked ugly. People already had one. And R&D kind of went silent for a while, which wasn't good because I was cheering the GP group and I'm like, hey, where's our new toy? And they brought it out. It was actually a little too long for the wall, so we had to shorten it. So it's all part of the R&D process.
Right.
And some of the failures that we've had have been difficult, and you've seen it. You've seen it in your past business. You've seen it here, where you think you've got a great idea, and you know it's going to win, and everybody's going to buy a billion of them, right? Because that's our trade. You just can't pass a fire test, which is it's annoying to say the least. It's more than that, but I'm going to use the word annoying.
I like that.
Hey, Jeremy, what would the day in the life look for a CEO at Viking?
Oh, that's a fair question. Maybe I would box it into, what the last, few months has looked like. Just there's a lot going on in our space, but most that answer can change by the day. But at the end of the day, I orient myself through the day, really trying to think about three things. And there's some things that are table stakes that I should mention, right? At the end of the day, we've got 1,000+ employees around the corporation, and a lot of them are using their hands, and so safety and how we think about safety across all of our fab shops is super important. We talk about it all the time. The culture of the company is super important to me, especially as we've significantly expanded the company over the last 5 years, and we continue to grow, right? And so you're bringing new people from new places, of new ideas, and so how do you foster those that assimilation of those folks within our culture? But then also learn from them. And so, but to more directly answer your question, I think, sometimes when you get lost in the noise of tariffs and, people and all that stuff, my true north is to think about three things. And I think if you think about these three things every day while running a business, you're more often than not going to succeed. And so for me, spending most of my day thinking about who we serve every day. And so for us, there could be a couple layers to it: our direct customer, and what do they wake up and think about and do every day? What do they read? What do they, where do they eat? What podcasts do they listen to, et cetera, et cetera. So deep understanding of our user, I think, is dimension number one. Dimension number two is clearly that same level of depth, if not more, in the competitive landscape. So at the end of the day, we're trying to grow our business, and there's only so many sprinkler contractors around the country, so we're trying to get more of our piece of the pie. So like a deep understanding of our competition, and then lastly, how that manifests itself in the P&L. And so I think if you really understand who you wake up and serve every day, you understand who you're going to compete against in the market, you understand how it lands in the P&L, and how those three things kind of play off of each other, and then again underpinned by developing and leading a culture every day, trying to keep curiosity as a part of the organization, because that's the space we're in, right? We talked earlier about new challenges and new, problems that need to be solved that don't have solutions today. So trying to keep that culture of curiosity. Kind of a long-winded answer to your question, but the days always vary, but I try to orient myself across those three things, and it's proven to be, reasonably successful, I'd say.
Great answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only one I got. So
That's great.
honestly, also just
what do you do on Tuesday, Jeremy?
Yeah, most of my day, honestly, is we have a lot of really talented people in this company who care about the same challenge, and so it's really trying to understand how we move faster but not compromising quality, how we grow quickly without damaging our culture. And so those kind of those things are always, it's like a puzzle without corner pieces sometimes, but it's a challenge I love, and it's easy to do when you're surrounded by good people. So
that is good.
What's up, Kenny? Thanks for joining. What are the requirements to become an employee at Viking? From Mike Ramos.
Listen, man, a passion for what we do every day. That's like a non-negotiable deal. So passion for what we do. I mean, the requirements are outside of just, the normal HR requirements. I mean, you gotta dive into, the culture and the passion that is this company. And we're super passionate about what we do. We want to be a good citizen of the space. We've, again, been in it for 100 years, have every intention of being in it for 100 more. And yeah, I want to wake up and roll up your sleeves and do it with us. We're a pretty flat organization. So, I mean, everybody in the company's got my cell phone number. If they don't, they can just look it up. So like to join Viking is just to jump into this industry with 2 feet and be curious, want to learn, want to contribute. And if you got those things, welcome to Viking. You'll do well here.
Awesome.
I tell you what, I have, so we're talking about if I've been to a Viking Corp, and then I started thinking more enough. I've done a lot with you guys, but the meaningful things that like really stood out to me were how happy your delivery drivers are. Like, it was cold in Atlanta, and then you have a delivery guy come, and I was like, why are you so happy? Like, it's cold out. It might start raining. You're delivering pipe, and and it kind of sucks. And he's like, no, it's great. I'm like, all right, dude, that's good.
That's great.
And it made my day better, So kudos to y'all. I don't know what y'all do, if it's like a donut party every morning before they leave or something,
Listen, I think, at the end of the day, if you're not excited about the problem, I always joke with the team, I mean, and not knocking on any other industry, right? But you can wake up every day and make some like assembly, which goes into some other different assembly, which ultimately finds itself into some component no one's ever heard of. And then it goes into some motor somewhere. And if you can derive passion out of that, good on you, right? It wouldn't work for me. Like, I love waking up every day and knowing that we make products that protect lives and livelihood. Like, if you can't derive passion out of that and excitement about that, then like, I always joke, like, go talk to our HR leader, because this isn't the right place for you.
Yeah, right.
That's it. Like, that's a problem it's a problem and an opportunity that like should excite folks. And so I'd like to think, most, if not all of our folks have that same level of excitement, but
fire sprinklers save lives.
Every day.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we got a question from Kenny regarding the Total Pack. Is there any knowledge on Total Packs with the built-in Viking alarm panel? The data center I'm doing, the alarm guys don't know how to make their panel trigger the Total Pack from the Vesda.
Oh,
yeah. So when you come into all Vesdas, I think we all know that it's air aspirating piping system, and it comes back, and all that is a detector. That detector comes back into the release control panel. So what they need to do is they need to bring it into a detection zone. Typically, with a data center, you typically don't use air aspirating pipe to activate the pre-action system. It's usually done off like smoke or heats, conventional detection. But if they are using it for that, or if they're using it as part of a cross zone, which is pretty typical. You guys are familiar with cross zone, right?
with a cross zone.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you explain it?
Yeah, it's simple. Cross zone is where you have two loops of detection in the same area, and it takes a detector off each loop or two detectors to actually activate before you complete the cross zone, and then that will activate something. So depending on how they're doing it, they could be using the air aspirating as like that first initial. And what
Right.
else they're probably doing with the air aspirating is they're starting their shunts where they're starting to shut things down and telling the data center to move all your stuff somewhere else because there's a problem in the space. But coming into a release control panel, because remember, release control panels are nothing more than light switches. You bring in the detection,
It's true.
turns on a solenoid, and
Right. Boom.
So yeah, so so that was my PhD.
That's a good one.
On releasing and detection.
That's a good one.
But if that name escapes me, I apologize. But if that didn't answer the question, maybe we can drop an email. Our email address is in the comments section, and we'll absolutely follow up. Happy to help.
Yeah. Feel free to email us at Viking Tech Services. You can email me at m@vikingcorp.com. You know, I'm older now, so between my naps, I answer a few tech calls. Or I don't really answer tech calls. I don't think we have insurance for me to answer tech calls.
So we don't have to go into the Viking F1, which is my favorite drive out, but I do want to talk about that VXR. So other drive valves that you have the plunger that goes down. Some of them you have a plunger that goes sideways, and then there's some valves where on the back side you could twist it and then it resets it. But y'all have it where you pull it down, or push it up, pull it
Push it
down.
up.
Yeah,
Okay.
up from the
So
bottom.
to reset it, you
From
push
the bottom, and it's a little different. So, how did you come up and why that design?
Well, listening to customers mostly. So the reason the F1, which is a great valve, and trust me, I think that there was a wanted sign on my back when we
I
decided
know who
to
put it there.
obsolete it. Yeah.
It was me, for sure.
Well, there's a whole line of people. There's a big tall guy here that.
Yeah, Mike Bosma one day threatened to leave and build them in his garage.
Yeah, it's hard. I had to remind him, you voted for the new valve, so.
That's great.
Yeah, but and that's been a great valve for us. Actually, we've taken over the volume that we ever had with the F1 and any combination of drive valves with the VXR. So
Yeah.
the reason that the plunger's on the bottom, some manufacturers have them on top. Well, the biggest problem is that the handle will get broke off in shipping. Or if you leaned on it, you could actually reset the valve while it was draining. And now that sounds like a simple problem, but if you've ever drained a dry valve through trim, it's not a pleasant moment.
No, I did that. I don't want to say the make and model, but yeah, it was. Oh man, it took forever, and I was almost done on my inspection, and then I don't know, it was probably an hour of draining, and it was terrible. So yes, I do
Oh, I'm gonna
know
fill
what
it.
you're talking
I'm gonna
about.
fill it back up a little bit to get the clapper back open.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Let me just crack that faceplate and
Yeah, let's just do it again.
and so the reason one was twofold. One, to protect where the control handle was, and two, not to make a mistake ridden. No one walks up to that valve and leans on it and resets it while it's draining. So that was the biggest push was customer feedback. You know, they
Right.
liked that type of valve. They wanted an external reset. Viking was against any side differential type valve. You know, we're all about a standard differential dry valve, standard pressure, not insufficient pressure, as I like to call anything less than about 30 psi.
I like what you did there.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
it was subtle. It was very subtle.
It was.
But yeah, so that went. A lot of the design into the VXR was lightweight, take up less space, reduce the trim
Right.
size, the footprint, and then on the external reset, because I came up through the trade where people had knobs on the back.
Right. Right.
And anything that twists, sooner or later it doesn't twist, and you take your channel locks, you break the handle off, and there you got a stupid post.
Give me the
you know,
18.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that too.
Yeah, so that was part of it, and it's a sleek design. I loved it when you guys called it Wendy the last time we talked. The square cover plate, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool fitter talking about Wendy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it looks great. I love it.
Yeah.
I forget actually what the question was, but I had one out in I think I was in South Carolina, and I don't know, I was having some kind of problem with it, but we solved it on a quick phone call. It was my
Sure.
first time with the VXR and the bottom plunger, and you guys
It's
answered the
meant to
call.
seat. So we actually tell you on our data page to pull that down because it's got a gasket to seal it. If you wear it up and you push it up, you'll actually get air out of it. But
Yeah.
it's actually sized so that it wouldn't trip if you have an air maintenance device on it. So we've got one set up here with an accelerator. That was some of the testing that we did. So the curious maintenance guy,
What is this? So, boop. Yeah, yeah.
the guy that just goes in there with a magazine and a box of donuts.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a coffee.
Today we're gonna learn.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, I think that's what
Grab
the
a
question
bucket.
was. I think that's what the question was. I had to just give it a little tug
Yeah.
down,
Yeah,
right?
I noticed that. Of course, I didn't read the owner's manual, but we were at SPP Pump, and they have a little lab, and I was playing with it, resetting it, dripping it, resetting it, dripping it, and I did notice the air coming out. I didn't know it was part of it that you pulled it. I was just like, okay, take note, pull it. And even on one of these episodes, I talked about it, and I said, hey, always pull the plunger down when you get done. I didn't know that it was part of it. It's just something that I did and it worked, so I wanted to share it.
Yeah, no, it's a great comment because it's something easy to sooner or later somebody's going to pull it down, but why struggle with it,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
we got kudos to the logistics team. Active Fire needed dry pendant sprinklers. They had them shipped overnight, some from Dallas, some from a different location, shipped to Miami overnight. Active Fire.
Oh,
All
that's
right.
great.
Good to
That's
hear.
good to hear.
That is good to hear. Shout out to the logistics team.
There we go.
Yeah, that's cool. We definitely
Well,
have
I
to come
gotta
by there.
say, yeah, I know. And then, guys, as we wrap this up, I love seeing the growth. I love seeing everybody win in our industry. There's uh, there's plenty of room for everybody, and I love to see it. And I can't wait to see what y'all come out with. Now, speaking of coming out with something, AFSA is coming up in October. Are we gonna see something new?
Yeah, actually, we'll bring out, we've got quite a few new products. Most of them are in-rack based. So yeah, stop by the booth. We're doing more with InstaSeal. We've got more fittings that we're working on. And as you know, in our industry, it takes 5 years for it to be old hat, but 4 years and 364 days, what is it? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
so we've had great success with InstaSeal. It's been a big commitment by Viking, and trust me, it wasn't slam dunk the first day he heard about it.
No,
He's
no.
like,
Right.
what do you mean put it in with your hand? It's like, well, it's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, you mean I could do it?
Yeah, that's right. So
Yeah, well,
yeah,
that's something we got to do. We have to get Brian to do the VR at AFSA.
We
Yeah,
had,
I haven't done it. I haven't done it yet.
yeah,
we had,
either.
maybe I shouldn't say so. We had one of our largest and closest customers, his mother, who's,
92.
okay, yeah, I didn't know the politically correct or nice way to say it.
Right.
But she installed one right there. I think it was AFC a couple of years ago, actually.
Yeah.
And so we gave her a certificate. She just now a fitter.
And
So yeah,
we pressure tested it. So she
yeah,
passed
she
the
did. She
hydro.
passed.
That
She
is
passed.
awesome. That is awesome.
That is cool.
Love
Well,
it. Yeah.
guys, thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the support, Viking. Dude, y'all keep winning. That's awesome.
I appreciate you guys what you do, and
we'll see you at AFSA. He'll be there as well.
I will.
So
Oh, awesome.
Awesome.
he's
Awesome.
gonna
That's,
handle most of the technical questions. I'm just gonna stand
Yeah.
there and bask in the
We'll
Viking.
put a microphone in his face,
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
What's going on?
It's that time of year where we set bonuses. Mark. Okay, hey guys,
I'll be close. I'll be close.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thanks for what you guys do.
Yeah, man. Thanks for
All right,
coming on.
thanks.
Look forward to
Yeah.
seeing you guys. Everybody, thanks for joining us. Whether you're watching us live, watching the replay, appreciate the view. Hit the like